Good evening to one and all. We all are gathered here on the glorious day to attend a webinar on the topic Robotic Process Automation. And our resource person for this webinar is Ms. Chinupriya J. Senior Automation Engineer. Thank you, ma'am, for giving us a part of your precious time. Now I will hand over the session to Ms. Sri Lakshmi, Assistant Professor of Computer Science Department, for the welcome speech. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Devika. Good evening to everyone present here. It's my great pleasure to extend warm welcome on behalf of Department of CSC for conducting a webinar on robotic process automation by our resource person, Mrs. Chinupriya JV, Senior Automation Engineer in EY. She has around 6 years of IT experience and worked as a senior automation engineer and technical lead in intelligent automation project for automation central team in EY. As a part of EY GD's care program, she has conducted various RPA training sessions for students. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi.
I also welcome our beloved principal, Dr. Manju J, and HOD of CSC department, Mrs. Suma SG, for your continuous support. We welcome you, ma'am. I also welcome all the students and colleagues for this session. Welcome all. Ma'am, you can continue the session now. Start the session now.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen. So, please tell me like when you can able to see my screen. Is my screen visible? Can anybody confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, welcome everyone for today's webinar on this topic RPA Path to Digital Transformation. And hopefully, today you'll get to know some of the basics. Let me start with the very basic things. So, how RPA things can be implemented in real world scenarios and some basics of RPA and what actually the IT world actually depending on RPA things. So, as Sri Lakshmi already said, my name is Chinnu. I work in EY as a senior automation engineer and technical lead for RPA and hybrid automation projects. So, and I have actually worked with 2 or 3 RPA tools. So, right now, let's get started then. So, if you have any questions, like please free to ping on that chat, or you can just unmute your mic and speak. That's fine for me. So this is the agenda that I was planning to go with. What is RPA and how to use it on real world problems and what does it actually do, and the what are the RPA tools that is available on the market and with a real world example. So this is the plan that actually prepare for this session. So I'll make it quick. In just 45 minutes, you will be able to understand like what is RPA and how things are actually working in automating things. So yeah, so here you can actually see a few newspaper clippings which actually popped out saying the automation is the key future to the work and how engineering systems are improving the workplace. So this is actually coming up latest in the latest newspapers and all. So like the millions of Americans have lost jobs in the pandemic and robots and AI are replacing them with faster than ever. So is it really possible like we can actually automate things, and what does this actually mean? So I'll actually have a key for this in the session, key for everything that you have in your mind. Please feel free to ask. And so yeah, So anybody in this group actually know what is RPA, or this is the first time you are hearing it, or have anyone go into some research? Please, actually, you can ping on the chat if you have anything like that. First time, okay. Okay, I got a message from Kavya. This is the first time. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so I'll actually go with a very simple example on what RPA is and how things are actually working. So here actually you can see a person. I'll just give a very simple example so that everybody understands. So you can actually see a person is doing a job, like we can see like the files are getting piled up on his desk. So as a very simple example, we can say like this person is actually having two different tasks, or his job is to read two invoices. For example, you can actually have look into this first invoice in the picture that I was shown in the right side. So this person actually reads the first invoice. Maybe like he can take the data out of it. So this person needs to read for example, read the product name or the quantity or the price from the invoice one. So and he's also having another invoice, say invoice two, and from that he'll actually get the address or the personal details of another person, of the same person, sorry. And what this person is actually doing is he get the all extracts the information from these two invoices, and he's actually updating that information on an Excel sheet or a database or any data sources or any SharePoint or something like that. And he also need to update the same thing on an Excel sheet, and then he need to update the same data on a website. So this is for one person this person is doing. So the same thing he need to update for a say like 10,000 people records are there, and this person is actually reading the invoice one, invoice two, updating it on an Excel sheet, and then he need to update the website. Got it? Okay. Say for one person, this man actually takes around 20 minutes to update everything, read the information manually, update it on an Excel sheet, and go to the next invoice and take the information out of it and update the same on an Excel sheet, and he'll get around 10,000 people's record. Got it? So once he got that Excel sheet, he need to update for each person. He need to go to this website, need to username, he need to he'll get a username and password screen. He'll need to log in into that. Once he log into that system, he need to update the details or the invoice details of that person into this quarterly report, this website. And so what is the actual time required for filling this 10,000 data? So one report actually took around 10 minutes, say 10 minutes. Yeah, let it be 10 minutes. Then what is the exact time which we require for filling the data of 20,000 or 10,000 people? Say it may take a day, or it can actually take a week. Say a week. So totally a week of information, a week is required for filling those information from these invoices and updating it on an Excel sheet and then to the website. So this person actually start working from Monday to Friday, day to may say 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Daily, and completes this entire task within a week. So what actually RPA is planning to do is, the task of performed by this person is actually done will be taken by a robot. So we'll actually design a robot, or we actually create a robot, or we can say like we'll design is the word which actually suits well. So we actually design a robot in such a way that the robot is trained in such a way it will actually get all the invoices, and it will read the information from both the invoices, say invoice one and invoice two. From invoice one, the robot will be reading the quantity, price, and the total amount from it. And from the second invoice, he'll be actually reading the addresses. And what the robot will be doing, it will actually get all this information from the two invoices, and he opens the Excel sheet, and he'll be updating it on an Excel sheet. And once the updation is done, he'll actually update the same in the our website. So what exactly the robot is doing is the task that performed by that person. So this person, and here surprisingly we can say reading of invoice and updating the Excel sheet and updating it on a website, this actually will take around just 2 to 3 minutes for the robot to work. For this person, it actually took 20 minutes. So this is a manual work, right? So we are actually doing this repetitive task done by this person into a robot, which is trained in such a way that it can read invoice 1 and it can also read invoice 2, and he can update the Excel sheet and he can update the thing on a website. So this is just an example. We can do anything like this. Any manipulation or any business rules can be implemented in such a. So for example, if this invoice contains an information, we know this person need to get the invoice of only those people who has around say 50,000, amount of 50 is greater than amount of 50,000. Yes, that can be done. Such kind of manipulations can also be done with the robot. So robot just took 2 to 3 minutes in maximum to fill the information of just one person. Got it? And what this person is doing is he fills the entire thing and from work from Monday to Friday and submits those information to submit this Excel sheet to his boss on a Friday evening, say Friday evening. So what bot is doing is bot completes the entire thing in just one day in a max, say one day max. So it can actually have around 10,000 requests, right? So to process around 10,000 requests, the robot will take sometimes 2 minutes for one request. Say it can takes around 14 hours. In 14 hours, he completes everything, and it can also be programmed in such a way that it can send out an email to his boss on a specified time. And if the person needs to be, if the person actually required to, a person requires this email on a Friday morning, bot can be programmed in such a way that it can process everything on a Thursday night or Thursday evening, and he can actually send that email on a Friday morning to this person on a particular time. Yes, that is possible. So this is actually what robotic process automation is. What actually it is programmed to do something, so do some task, which is actually repetitive. That is the key point which need to be identified. Like repetitive tasks need to be identified, and those tasks can be automated. So how this can be done? So these are the questions actually you might have in your mind. How to replace this human with a robot for doing this task? Is that really possible? Yes, actually, I have the questions like you people have in mind, where actually robot can assist in software world, and how what are the applications and where we can actually do this task, and how to design this, how to implement these solutions, and how to do this, and where we can actually create a robot which mimics human interactions. So I have an answer for all of these questions, and if you have any questions, you can please ping me on the chat. Okay. Okay. So another misconception regarding this robotic process automation is it is not exactly a robot with physical form. So as the name is robotic process automation, everybody will actually think like there is actual robot actually is working in front of the computer. So nothing like that. It is actually a software robot. So what does that actually mean is we are designing these robots with software tools, and we are running this software tools. With the help of software tools, we are actually working in a machine. So nothing like robotic process automation related to actual robot. So there is no robotic arm or anything like that. It is just a software robot designed with software tools. So with the what are the software tools actually we use to automate things? I have actually those information. I'll actually explain it in the coming slides. So and what I need to say is it does not have any resemblance with humans. So the robots actually work with those things that we designed them to do. So we actually write codes or write things that actually what the bot want to do. So it does not have a brain of its own, or it does not have any critical thinking as humans do. So if the say in the previous example we say it was actually programmed in such a way to read invoice 1 and also to invoice 2, right? So like if you want to read an invoice 3, we need to write another set of code to read it in a different manner. So it should be of a common or a static format which does not change. So if the robot was actually get the input of another template of another invoice, say invoice 3, which is of a some other format, bot will not be able to process. So it does not have any critical thinking as humans do. Like in that template, maybe the invoice number should be at the top, and the first invoice should have the invoice number at the bottom. So we program the robot in such a way, like if the invoice number comes up in this position, read it. So only that thing the robot knows. It does not know whether it has actually moved to some other position or something like that. So it does not have any resemblance with humans, and it does not actually perform any critical thinking as humans do. So this is the actual RPA life cycle. So when a project or something, when a actual automation thing is coming up in a company, so what does an how RPA life cycle works? So once we get an automation project, what we actually do is the first step is planning and analysis. So in that stage, what actually is happening is we plan, like we actually get the information from the business or the client, what is the exact thing they want from us, or what are the things that need to be automated, or how the actual manual process is taking place. That is what actually is happening at the planning and analysis phase, and we need to identify like how data is coming into our robot as the input, or how the output they actually need, what are the things that they need from us, or final output, what is the standard format of the email that need to be sent, or something like that. So those information we need to collect from the client or from the business at the planning and analysis phase. The next step is development phase. In the development phase is the actual place where we actually design a robot. So how we actually design a robot, those things actually I have in detail. And in the development phase, the actual developers will be working on those scenarios, and it will be like what are the actual steps that need to be followed by a robot, or it should be the same as the manual work. So for example, say we need to go to the Flipkart and search for a laptop, and what is the manual process? We just open the Microsoft Edge from our browser, and we actually search in the URL as the www.flipkart.com. And once we actually go to the homepage, we'll find the search button or the search text box at the top, and we'll write the laptop over there and click on that search button. It is the manual process that we are doing. So what will be the RPA developer will be doing is he'll actually program the robot in such a way, uh, it will be we'll actually program the robot to say it will actually have the we have the RPA tools that we have to work with this. So it will be trained in such a way, we'll actually say the robot to open the browser first, and it will be say the home page is loaded first. So as the once the home page is loaded, we'll ask the robot to check whether that text box is over there, which means the search text box, right? So once the search box of text box is found, what the robot will be doing is it will write the laptop, write LAPTOP, laptop over there, and click on that search button. So once the search button is there, it will pick all the information from it. And if you need that information on an Excel sheet, yes, it is possible. And those things are done at the development stage. Did I get it, Ping? No. Okay, so those things are actually done at the development stage, and once the development is completed, we'll actually have the testing phase. So we'll give the robot that particular release. We'll say it is a release. So we'll say that it is a release. So release is just given to the testing team for testing the process, and the team will be actually looking into various scenarios and various exceptions that can be handled, and all those things are done from the testing team. So they will actually give a continuous run to check whether the bot is working fine for more than 24 hours or just like 48 hours or something. And they will gives like the test results. If the test results is fine, the development team can actually work with the production team, so it can be given to the final client. So the final output or the product should be given to the client, right? That stage is called as the deployment stage. So the deployment is the term deployment actually means like we are actually delivering the final product which we actually developed, that is a final robot, into the production stage, which means we're giving the final thing to our customer. And the robot will be actually working in actually currently working, maybe say maybe in a server, or it can be run from their own machine also. So if I need to run one of the robot in my machine, yes, it is possible. So only if that client actually does not want to run the robot in their own machine, and they just need the result, yeah, that is also possible. So that is all about RPA lifecycle. And yeah, of course the support team is actually there. So if there is any maintenance, or if there is any site changes or things like that is happening, the support team will be working with the client to fix those issues, and it will again come to the development team to fix the issues. So this is the RPA life cycle. It is actually the planning and analysis. Then after the planning, it will come to the development team, the testing team, and to the deployment team. So how the RPA professionals works. So I actually explained this in RPA lifecycle side. So that is the first one is a process consultant is there. So the process consultant is the one who actually talks with the client or the business to get all the information from them. Uh, so what is the actual as-is process? So how the things are actually manually be done, and how things they manually do, and what are the repetitive tasks they do, and what are the challenges they are facing. If it is if it is dealing with a website, what are the challenges they are facing? So those things actually are dealing with the process consultants. So after the process consultant get the requirements from the business, he will be working with the project manager, yeah, here at the bottom, and with the technical lead for creating a design. So how the process should be designed, and what the process need to be designed, and how the process need to be implemented, and which RPA tools we need to prefer, and what is the input or the what is the output we prefer to we receive from the bot, and how that need to be shared with the client, where that need to be shared, or is it through an email, or is it through a file, or is it through some other source, or they need to update in a database or something like that. So those information need to be done by process consultant. Will be first the process consultant will be getting all the information and the requirement from the business. And once the business receives the information, when the process consultant receives the information from the client, and he will be informing the technical lead or the senior automation engineer, and along with the manager, he will be creating a design. And once the design is fixed, yeah, next step is development, right? Sorry. Next step is development phase. In the development phase, the only the RPA developer, along with the help of its technical lead or a senior automation engineer, he will be developing or designing the robot in that RPA tools. And I actually said, like, once the development is done, from it will be going to the testing team. So the testing team, actually there is an internal testing team and also an external testing team. So what is mean by internal and external is, once the development is done from from the development side, it will be given to an internal testing team. So that is actually totally internal, and the business or the client will not be having any interactions at that point. And once that internal testing is done, we'll actually go to give the product to an external testing team. So the external testing team is something or someone from the client side. So they will be having an external testing though, so they will actually test how the robot is actually working. So and then they will be monitoring the robot for a couple of days and how things are actually designed, and actually they are looking like how it is whether they are completing the task on a preferred time. So if the say like the client need to complete the job in just half an hour, so that is actually met. So such things are actually monitored by the external testing team. And once the testing team completes the job, and it will be finally given to the production team and it will be deployed. So deployment actually said it will be given to the client for their actual work. So this is the RPA life cycle we have. So any questions in between from here? You can ping on the chat. Okay, great. So wait a small. Yeah. So to automate, what are the things that can be automated? Next question is, we can actually, you people have in mind, what are the things that can be automated? So we can say like we need a input data, right? The input data, we actually said in the previous example, it is just an invoice. So please don't actually consider that only PDF can be written, or it can be a document file or something like that. It was just an example. So the input data can be anything. It can be a file. Sometimes like it can be an Excel file, right? So it Excel file which has the data of around say 10,000 people, or it can be a data of the entire people in the company. uh, See, recently like the HR data from the we have projects in HR from the HR team, so it can actually have the data of the people on the entire region, maybe like in India. So in India we might have around 10,000 or 20,000 people in one domain. So those things are actually coming up. So it can be an Excel file, it can be a document file, say it can be a PDF, it can be an invoice. Say it can be a PDF, so it can be surely an invoice. And then sometimes like the client might say they will send an email, send the Excel files, or they send the input via an email. Yes, it can be a file, same as before. The email can be attached with attached the Excel file or the document file, or it can be a PDF. It can be in an email. So what will be programmed, or I mean, the robot will be programmed in such a way that it can actually download the Excel file and the document file from it. So it can actually does not depend on the attachments. Surely we can read the email body also. Bot can be programmed in such a way we can read the email from the email body from it. So yeah, that is also possible. Then it can be a website. So websites is actually so there is actually a problem with websites. So if there is a website which is actually changing, or which is dynamic daily, so we see the Instagrams, Facebook's pages actually get updated daily. So those kind of things actually we can't automate because of the instability. We actually require a stable website, or very minute changes will not happen or will not have any impact on the robot. But the major changes like actually major changes, so for example, what to say, like if the search button over the top actually changes to down, yeah, it is a change. So or the homepage of the browser get totally changed, homepage of that particular website changes, and the entire login page changes, yes, the robot will be failing. So thus those kinds of things we need to actually discuss with the client to see whether these websites are stable, or how often the changes actually occur. So there are actually changes usually occur. So before those changes are actually coming up, the team will be actually notified, say so we are actually making these changes like these, and we are actually changing the homepage, we please take the robot down for 2 days. Yeah, that is actually done. And in such cases, we will actually rework on the current robot to make those changes. Those activities are actually done by the support team over here, 04. And the client will be actually working with the support team once the product is deployed, and these three people actually will not have any contact once the product is delivered to the customer. And the third one is the input type. It can be a Windows application. So say in most of the companies we have like the payroll systems, the HR data kind of things. We have the Windows applications which is dedicated to that particular company. Such application, so they will be having a dashboard like thing. For example, say it can be a dashboard. What will be programmed to say download the information from that particular dashboard and pick the information and update it on another website, or it can be an Excel sheet or something like that. Yes, it is also possible. And once you get that input data, what is the next step that need to be done? So the next step is extracting those information from the input files or input data, or it can be anything. It can be a website, applications, email. I said it can be a file. So how we can extract the information? That is actually the main thing by which we need to concentrate, right? So how we can do that? That is done with RPA tools. What are the RPA tools that are available in the market, and what are the trends that need to be followed? So the RPA tools we have is we have Blue Prism, and we have UiPath and Automation Anywhere. These three are the actually the leading technologies that we have for automation, and Blue Prism and UiPath are the most commonly used in most of the companies. And if you can check into like the Blue Prism and UiPath projects are usually available like in most of the companies. Automation Anywhere, I'm not sure like it is available in most of the areas because of the license cost and all. Most of the companies do not prefer Automation Anywhere, and also Blue Prism is also having a license cost. And UiPath is free of cost, and any one of you can try it out. So I'll give you a sample, show you a sample use case with Blue Prism and UiPath. So this is the robot. This is the which tool which I was talking about. This is Blue Prism tool, and here you can actually program a robot in such a way to do certain task. So this is a robot which has been programmed in such a way to read. Just open the flip as an example that I've already said. Go to the Flipkart.com and search for laptop and get all the information from it and update it on an Excel sheet. So this is the robot that has been programmed to do that task. Yeah. So let me show you how this is actually working. So what is the manual thing we do? Manually what we'll do, we'll just go to flipkart.com and search the laptop over here and fetch all the information. And once you get the information from this page, we'll navigate to this page, take all the information from it, and go to this and go to the entire 5 to 10 pages and get all this information and update it to an Excel sheet. So manually, if we read this and if we are copying this information and taking this, and also like it will take around 5 to maybe say to get into all the pages and get the information will take around say 5 to 10 minutes. So what the robot is actually planned to do is I'll show how it is actually working. So you can see the how fast things are actually working. So it is opening the browser. It actually write the laptop over here and such. So it is very fast. Like we are actually able to not able to identify what is exactly happening. So I'm pausing and showing it because to understand like what is actually happening. Once this is done, I'll just run it once again. So you can see that it is going into different pages. The pages are actually getting navigated over here. See, it came back to the main home page. So I'll run it again. Once you run the robot, it actually launches the Microsoft Internet Explorer, and it writes the laptop over there, and it is navigating to the pages over here. And it is, what does it actually mean by navigating to different pages? It already took the information and read all the information from that page. So if I go to this Excel file and open this, so you can see like it has actually captured all the information that from that particular page. So say I have actually programmed the bot in such a way it reads the product name, product price, and product rating. Only these three information should be captured. So only those informations are captured for now. So see how fast this actually works. So it just took around 5 to 10 seconds to navigate to the entire pages, and it came back to the Excel sheet and completed writing into the complete data has been written to the Excel sheet, and it is being saved in a location. So how fast it is working, that is the main thing that we need to identify, or we need to say like we need to concentrate on that. So I'll continue with the next case. And this is the, I actually automated with Blue Prism. And Blue Prism, actually, it is not open to people because it is having a license cost. So you can actually try out UiPath. UiPath, if you need to, if you are really interested, you can actually go to google.com and search for UiPath. And it will be having a website. Once you go to this website, you can actually try UiPath for free. So here is an option to really explore into this, and you need to just sign it up with this usual Google or Gmail account with, or it can be actually done with the LinkedIn account also. So once this is done, you can actually try it out how this is automating. So main advantages of working with UiPath or the Blue Prism or any RPA related tools, it is actually able to the recent technologies or the recent features like OCR or the different OCR engines. I think you know about optical character recognition, right? So the OCR engines are actually implemented in all the RPA tools. Say in UiPath also it is available, and in Blue Prism also we are having those features. And AI or ML changes are also being implemented, and even data mining things can uh, also be implemented in this kind of RPA tools. And one another thing I should say is it is a low code feature, so we doesn't require any coding techniques or any coding knowledge to do these tasks. So this is very easy, and everybody can actually try it out. So if the coding knowledge is there, yes, it is an advantage for if it is an advantage if we work with complex processes, yes, it is true. But it is actually a low code. You can actually see if I open the Blue Prism, you can see that over here we have like different boxes over here, and you can see the structure of the robot is designed. So it looked like a simple flowchart. Actually, it will be having like different complex structures. So this is a very simple project. So very simple example. So it does have just one page to do that. In a real world scenario, it might have around 20 to 40 pages of 40 pages to work with different pages or different activities or different scenarios. And yes, it is possible to this is just a drag and drop feature. So once you want to read or navigate to a page, we can actually click on this and navigate to this page. So it is so simple as that we can actually work with very low code, and everybody can actually work. And actually there is no coding or the coding knowledge required, or C sharp. Yes, C sharp codes are actually working, or if you are very good in C sharp or any full stack developer thing kind of role, that also is possible. The different Python codes or the C sharp codes can be integrated with the Blue Prism and UiPath projects. That is also being done. And another thing is concurrency. So what do you mean by concurrency is that I said, like in that previous example, that particular person does a job in around 48 or Monday to Friday. It will be taking from Monday to Friday. He's doing that task, and the robot will be programmed in such a way that it works for 2 minutes for one process, and it took around 28, say 24 hours to complete that particular task done by that person. But the boss actually, what the client actually requires, he need to be done in say 2 hours. The entire 10,000 requests that to be done in 2 hours. Is it that really possible? Yes, it is possible. So what we'll actually do is we'll increase the number of bots. So the code will be actually deployed in a common server, and the bots are actually increased. So what do you mean by increasing the number of the robots? Means 5 robots will be working at the same time in that 10,000 request. So what is actually doing is bot actually process 5 to 10 requests at a single time. So if you need to process the entire 10,000 requests in a 5 15 20 25 minutes, yes, it is possible. If we increase the number of bots to 10 or 10 or more than 10, yes, it is possible. That is also done. And what are the common areas we actually see, or like what are the areas we actually implement these solutions? So recently we have got projects in customer service area, from accounting team, from the financial services, from the healthcare areas, from human resources, and even from the supply chain management we have the projects. So what do you mean by from these areas we'll get the projects is we have repetitive tasks in every areas. So those tasks which can be automated can be easily contacted to this RPA or development automation team, and they can actually automate things. And the what are the actual applications? So this is actually not the application. Sorry for the header. It is actually what are the advantages. So what in the advantage, it is first one is technology. As I already said, the OCR app, the AI and ML, or artificial intelligence or machine learning technologies, are actually integrated with the RPA tools. And it is scalable. Scalability, what I actually said, is increasing the number of watts, or how it can be, it can create the magic of creating that entire task in a day was done to in a 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, it is possible. And the security is another feature or the concern for many people or many clients. If they want to complete the task in and their data is secure, yes, the security is possibly ensured in most of the RPA tools. And in Blue Prism, they actually use like the AES and DES algorithms, and which is very much encrypted, and we don't have any problems of security issues. And the total cost of ownership is, yes, it is having that ease of the use and control. Yes, we have a total control of the robot, and we does not have any problem with uh, how the robot works, or what is the problems that we face once the product is being delivered to the customer. Yes, it is possible. And the vendor experience and the maintenance and support. So those are the actual advantages of using the RPA tools. And like I have like few videos which we can actually go through to explain like how this is actually working. Let me open one of it. Yes.
Today, workers do a lot of different tasks, reading emails, creating spreadsheets, even using an irreplaceable timer program. It's a lot of work, and not all of it uses the skills that make us, well, human, like creativity, critical thinking, and communication. So why not automate those repetitive tasks and focus instead on the high-value, great work we're meant to do? At Nutrition, we're making automation smarter with the use of an artificial workforce. That means you don't need to change the systems you're already using, or worry about integrating with the new program IT recently built. Our Prison digital workforce can handle it all, including automations. That's easy. There's no coding required. As a business user, you just try, work, and build contracts. The best part? It's all centrally managed, so your business teams can seamlessly collaborate, share automations, and build on each other's work. Any of the digital workers can help each other out while the same of their virtual colleagues are busy on other tasks. And IT can be sure it's better, safe, secure, and ready to scale. Each side of the operation focusing on what they do best. Let's look at a simple example. Any business lives to fulfill customer orders. With Blue Prism, this task, including all the clicks, logins, and decisions, can be completely automated and in turn transformed. Digital workers can bring the incoming orders, use your internal inventory system, check in with human teammates if needed, and of course, use SAP to finalize the order, Salesforce to update customer information, and Outlook to save order confirmation delays. Teaming up with a digital workforce that can handle these tasks puts you on the fastest path to value and gives your people back the time they need to do what only they can. Deliver outstanding customer service, build relationships, be creative, and tap into the best practices to grow the business. The world's largest organizations choose Blue Prism so they can explore new possibilities and do more great work. What will you automate?
Yes. Yes, the question is what will we automate? So it is very easy. Everybody can actually try out with UiPath, which I have already said. It is just free. Just go to google.com and search for UiPath. And once you get that homepage, we'll have that tile over here. Try it for free. And once you log in with this UiPath with either your Google account or LinkedIn account, you will actually able to download this. And it is actually same as that, almost same of that interface as Blue Prism. And this is not free, so we can't actually say to prefer this one, but UiPath is free. And if you have any questions, please shoot. Am I audible? Okay, so if you have any questions, please go ahead. Sorry, I got one question over here. I was on speaking on mute. Sorry. What is the output of RPA tools? Or what is the format of a robot? Is an Excel file? No. So what is the output? It can be anything. It depends on the customer. If the customer needs it as a if they need it as an email, we'll send it across. And if they require it, if they need an updation in an Excel, I mean the in the website, yes, it is also an output. And if they need the link of a website, or if they need the link of the final output, yes, it is also considered as an output. And what is the I think I got it wrong. What is the format of a robot? So it is in Blue Prism, it is considered as a BP release, and we'll get a file. We can actually download or export the data from it, and it will look something like this. It is .bp release. Am I clear on that? Is that what you meant? Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Shall I take this as a no? Then we can conclude, right?
Devika.
Vote of thanks will be delivered by Grishma ji.
Hello and good evening to all. On behalf of our college and CSE department, I express my sincere thanks to our resource person, Mrs. Chinupriya JV, who has spent her precious time with us to enlighten our minds. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
I extend my thanks to our principal, Dr. Manju J, and CSE department HOD, Ms. Suma SG, for this opportunity and support. I also thank our coordinator, Mrs. Srilashmi B, for organizing and coordinating the webinar for the students. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you who sincerely committed to the event to make it a success. This event would have been impossible without the support of each and everyone present here. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for everybody for your time. Thank you. Bye.